My brother demanded $50,000 from me for his broken relationship after his fiance confessed she loved me. I told him no. Then he found out who paid for the ring. Growing up, my older brother Dean was everything I was not. Tall, charming, confident. Teachers loved him. Girls loved him. Our parents worshipped him. I was the quiet one who blended into walls. Dean played varsity football. I worked at the library. Dean threw parties. I cleaned up after them. When Dean needed money, our parents emptied their savings. When I needed money for a school trip, they said I should get a job. So I did. I started working at 14, mowing lawns, bagging groceries, whatever paid. By the time I finished high school, I had more saved than my parents had in their checking account. Not that anyone noticed. I went to state college on scholarships while Dean went to a private university on our parents' credit cards. He dropped out after 2 years with nothing but debt. I graduated in 3.5 with a degree in accounting. Dean bounced between jobs. I built a career. By 28, I was making good money. Dean was still borrowing from our parents. Then Dean met Alyssa. She was smart, kind, way out of his league. Everyone said so, even our parents. But somehow Dean convinced her he was worth her time. They dated for 3 years. Dean proposed last spring with a ring that cost $8,000. I know because I paid for it. Dean called me crying 2 months before the proposal. He had found the perfect ring, but he was broke. He could not ask our parents because they had just bailed him out of credit card debt. He needed a loan, just until he got back on his feet. I should have said no, but Alyssa was good for him. She made him better, and part of me wanted to believe Dean could finally grow up. So I transferred $8,000. He promised to pay me back within a year. That was 14 months ago. I never saw a dollar. The engagement party was at our parents' house. Everyone kept praising Dean for the beautiful ring. What a thoughtful choice. Alyssa must feel so special. Dean soaked it up. He never mentioned where the money came from. I stood in the corner drinking water and said nothing. The wedding was scheduled for September. I was not asked to be best man. Dean chose his college roommate instead. I was given a seat in the third row, behind cousins I barely knew. I did not complain. That was just how things worked in my family. Then 3 weeks before the wedding, Alyssa showed up at my apartment. It was a Tuesday night. I was watching television when she knocked. She looked like she had been crying for hours. I let her in and asked what was wrong. She sat on my couch and told me everything. Dean had been cheating. Multiple women. One of them was her co-worker. She had found the texts that morning. But that was not why she came to me. I need to tell you something, she said. Before I leave this family for good. I have been in love with you for 2 years. I stared at her. I never made a move because you were with Dean. I kept my distance on purpose. I know, she said. That is why I love you. Because you are decent. Because you never tried anything. Because you are everything he pretends to be. She stood up and walked to the door. I just needed you to know. Then she left. I sat there for a long time trying to process what happened. The next morning, my phone blew up. Dean called 11 times. Dean showed up at my apartment that afternoon. His face was red, hands shaking. You stole her from me. I told him I didn't steal anyone. She came to me. I didn't touch her. He didn't care. He needed someone to blame. Then he said I owed him $50,000 for the life I ruined. Pain and suffering. Lost deposits. The ring. I almost laughed. The ring. The one I bought. I pulled up my banking app and showed him the transfer from 14 months ago. $8,000 to his account for the ring he couldn't afford. He never paid me back. And now he wanted $50,000 more. He grabbed my phone and stared at the screen. His mouth opened, but nothing came out. I told him Mom and Dad didn't know I paid for it, but they would if he kept pushing this. They'd find out their golden boy couldn't even afford his own proposal, that I'd been funding his life while he pretended to be successful. He threw my phone on the couch and left without another word. That night, our parents called. Dean had told them I seduced Alyssa, broke up the engagement on purpose, was jealous of his happiness. Mom was crying. How could you do this to your brother? I asked one question. Did Dean tell you who paid for the engagement ring? Silence. I told them the amount, the date, that I had bank records. Dad said they'd call me back. They never did. Last month, Dean sent one message. You ruined everything. I typed back. You ruined it yourself. I just stopped cleaning up after you. Then I blocked his number.